Hello and welcome to the Dublin Arsenal podcast. I'm your host, Jonathan Giles. On tonight's show, I'm joined by Arsenal season ticket holders and Irish Gooner guests, John Mealy and Eamon Donnelly, to review last night's 5-1 thumping away victory against Sporting Lisbon on match day 5 of the Champions League. And remember to sponsor our very own Merton Stumble for November in aid of men's mental health month. Every donation helps, so thank you for your support. So sit back and enjoy the show. On tonight's special midweek show, I'm joined by regular guests and Arsenal season ticket holders. Firstly, John Mealy, how are you, pal?
Not too bad, Johnny. Not too bad.
It's great to have you back.
After last week's match, yeah.
John is just back a week or so now from Bilbao, as you can see from his tanned hairline. And I'm also joined by who ate all the duck, John and Eamon Donnelly.
Evening, Jonathan. Evening, John. The duck was lovely. My grandfather, he invented the cold air balloon. It never really took off, though. I had a teacher with a lazy eye. Couldn't control the pupils. Anyway, we're all good. Very, very good after last night's display, I have to say. Very, very pleasing on the eye, you know.
Yeah, last night's game followed on beautifully from last Saturday, should I say, 3-0 home victory over Nottingham Forest. We really kicked on since the international break, and last night I didn't have to say now, I didn't really see the scoreline to be as high, but the way we played and we came out was, real intensity. I think we probably really took Sporting Lisbon by surprise. In fairness, Lisbon are quite an open team at times as well. They play kind of like risk and reward football, but they might get away with that in the Portuguese league. But when it comes to the Champions League and they're playing the quality of Arsenal and the likes, you will get caught out defensively. But we might still kick into the review of last night's match. 5-1, as I said. Goals for Lisbon was by Inacio 2 minutes after half time, but goals for ourselves: Martinelli on 7, Havertz on 22, Gabriel 45 minutes, Saka another beautifully well taken penalty after 65. He's just grown in confidence every time he steps up, and Trossard put the icing on the cake in the 82nd minute. A result which leaves us in 7th position in the league with 10 points, nicely positioned going into with 3 games to go. Monaco is December the 11th, and then 2 games in January completes the group stage, or the league stage, you could say. But we're nicely positioned. We're in that top 10, and that's where you'd want to be at this stage. I thought Gabriel and Saliba had a great game against Gio Kirash, the striker. Really, he's banging in the goals for Lisbon, and he's highly wanted, but we really made him look very ordinary. And I thought the celebration from Gabriel, copying his own celebration, was really tongue-in-cheek, but I thought defensively, Saliba and Gabriel again, immense. Very few faults really with the performance. Ray pulled off saves when he had to again. 5-1, as I said, very impressive. Didn't see the result really coming to be 5-1. I thought 2 or 3-0, but I'll take 5-1. I'll come to yourself, John. Been a while since you've been on. What did you make of last night's performance?
Yeah, very impressive. The go away there and the play to dominate as much as we did, especially in the first half. We definitely made them look ordinary. And last time I was on the show, I did say, as we get our players coming back, we could see this team start to come alive. It's not just the obvious one of Odegaard, but seeing Timber and Calafiori coming back into the side, even though they're not 100% fit yet, they're not getting 90 minutes out of it, but you can see the difference having those 2 fullbacks in the team as well. And I think a special mention for Thomas Partey, who I thought was outstanding last night. I hope this is starting to see the real Arsenal. This is what we've been waiting for since August. Hopefully, as I said, let's hope we get a long run with our first choice players available, and we'll hopefully see more of this, because that's as impressive as it gets.
How impressed, as I said at the start of the show, how impressed were you of Saliba and Gabriel keeping Gio Kirash quiet, knowing that he's on fire, and he tried to wind up Gabriel with a few nudges in the back and all, but I thought we really kept him quiet, didn't we?
But I mean, it wasn't just Saliba and Gabriel. Let's be honest, we stopped the supply getting to him.
Yeah,
We pressed Lisbon off the pitch in stages, especially in that first half. So he wasn't. There was nothing for him to fight for because the ball wasn't getting anywhere near him. And that's just an overall good team performance. Let's be brutally honest.
Yeah.
We liked that game was over at half time. I know they scored early in the second half. We want to talk about that corner, but any efforts they had were basically long range. You know, they won half chances. I know they had an awful lot of efforts, but they weren't. I mean, the saves Raya made, I'd have been disappointed if he didn't make them.
Yeah.
That's not to say they didn't need to be made, but they were long range efforts. Gyökeres had one run and he belted a shot against the crossbar.
Sure.
Apart from that, he wasn't really an issue to the game. As you said, I thought Saliba in particular had him in the back pocket.
Yeah.
So he was very impressive all around team performance.
How impressed were we with all 5 goals? In particular, I suppose the confidence of Bukayo Saka when he steps up, you nearly know he's on a score, don't you? He's that confident, you can see in him.
Well, that's as close to perfect penalties you're going to get, right? The side net. Let's be honest. Doesn't get better than that, but all the goals, they were impressive. We went out and we laid down a marker and we played our game.
Yeah. What
have we been saying for ages? Get there first 11 out. We'll play our game. And you're starting to see it. You've seen it against Forest, you've seen it again today. That's what we're capable of.
Yeah.
And enough of this. I don't want to hear anything about, okay, they've just lost their manager. This is the same group of players that might beat Man City 4-1 and got applauded all over Europe. And they weren't able to. So give us a bit of credit.
I suppose when you see Man City imploding from 3-0 up to 3-0 against Feyenoord, a team really in demise, and a verdict that will be due next month, and hopefully they'll get what's coming to them. But we can only concentrate on ourselves, being the Arsenal. EAMONN, really impressive 5-1. And you were on the show on Monday when we reviewed the Forest game, and as John rightly said, another top performance by Thomas Partey in midfield. How impressed were you of the overall performance of Arsenal last night?
Sorry, that was me doing my impression. That was me doing my impression of the Arteta out brigade on the tread last night. Total silence.
I was just on the same thing we lost.
We just pummeled Sporting Lisbon 5-1, and none of that gang had the courage of the convictions to come on and say that was a decent night's work. Anyway, long may it continue. Well, first of all, you see, we got to step back from this. John is absolutely right, and something that John said on the last time he was on the show really resonated with me. I just can't wait to see Arteta's Arsenal, the team that he's built. And people have to understand, we haven't seen that all season because it hasn't been available to us. And Arteta said himself in his post-match interview, that before the international break, there were times when we were training with 11 or 12 players.
Yeah.
Because we were nursing guys with knocks because other fellas were out. So fellas who were actually playing couldn't even train. Now, we've gotten over that now, that physiological disaster. And when we have our team out, let me tell you something. Not only are we most certainly in the top 1, 2, 3 of England, whatever order of merit that comes out, right? We're one of the top teams in Europe. And I have every expectation that if our squad can stay relatively injury-free, we can have a real crack at this competition, right? Now, we said at the start of the season when we were reviewing Champions League, we said, you post your home games and get something away from home. And last night's win against the Head made up for what we lost out in Inter Milan. So if we posted our home games and got something away from each away game, we'd be on 9 points. We're now currently on 10, right? We've 2 home games and 1 away game to come. It was a great result. I wouldn't get carried away with it because Sporting were playing as if they were playing, Braga. And no disrespect to Braga or Guimarães or whatever other part. It's not the same level as the top level in the Premiership. And they should have gone over us from time to time instead of inviting us on, And again, you look at what Odegaard gives to the team, not only the way he connects players, but as I said it on the show the other night, he orchestrates things collectively when we haven't got the ball. He calls it. He's like the opposite of a quarterback. Quarterback calls everything when he has the ball. When we don't have the ball, Odegaard is actually cajoling people into position. And he doesn't do it all the time. He decides when to do it and when not to do it. He's a real leader in that respect. And you saw it again last night. The longest arm in football. Whoa. But when we pressed them high, they couldn't get out.
Yeah.
We started really brightly. The goals are really well crafted. The first goal was a beautiful move. The combination down the right, Timber popping up. The second goal, lovely inside pass by Partey, who once again I've been a great advocate for this season.
Yeah.
It was outstanding. He dominated the midfield.
Yeah.
He dominated the midfield. The goals were good. And John is right. Like, there was only one Raya save that I said was an outstanding worthy. He got down to one on his left, John. And when you saw it from where he was, it came through a crowd of players, and he really, really did well. There was some noise on the thread last night that he should have saved the one from the corner. It's come through bodies. He has no hope.
I think that it took a deflection as well. I think
Calafiori lost his balance, and that's how the guy got the shot in. Raya doesn't know that Calafiori's going to lose his balance, and then it's coming through players. I wouldn't fault him off that. In fact, Raya's distribution all night was unbelievable. Again. But look, we carved them open time and time again. But there was a golfing class. I wouldn't get overly excited about it. It was a good win. I wouldn't be beating any drums. But this was us being a game smart team, very, very highly effective and functional, creating nice opportunities. But then when we needed to, and we knew what way they were going to play, and we knew what they had up top, we defended as a unit properly. They were never carving us open. We defended as a unit, and in truth, they never really laid a glove on us. And John is right about this manager thing. Should he won 6-0 on Friday night without the manager, Yeah. So, look, it was a very, very... What I liked most about it was the way we cut through their lines very, very quickly. Even when they were playing a lower block early doors, and when they pressed up on us, we got out through midfield so easy, So, to my mind, you have to look at it like this. You see, the Premier League's a very unforgiving place, right? Are Sporting Lisbon better than Bournemouth? I would say, yeah. But then you go to Bournemouth. Now, obviously, we were hampered by all sorts of things. But you get it, they made, and every team in the Premiership tries to make it difficult for you. So I think Sporting last night should have been a bit more game smart. They should have gone over us, and they didn't. That guy Diamante at the back, he
should have been recorded, shouldn't he?
He should have changed his shirt. It would have only taken a couple of letters to demented. There
was actually, Eamon, sorry for cutting across you. Just as you mentioned him, there was an incident where I think it was when Martinelli actually was coming off the elbow that he gave Martinelli, blooded him, and I think that in itself should have been, I think he got away with 2 or 3 that should have been definitely a red card, because certainly if that was one of the that was saying it because of us. If that was one of the Arsenal players, I guarantee you it would have been 2 yellows and gone. The way
he lost the plot. As I said, he should have changed the name of his shirt to Demented. But it was a great boost for us last night to score a load of goals.
Yeah,
we'll be struggling for goals away from home in Europe. Okay, 5-1 might have been a small bit harsh on Sporting because we were ruthless. Where we haven't always been. But the thing that impressed me most, right, was how game smart we were when they scored.
Yeah, because there was the nerves could have dangled, couldn't it? Like if a second went in, it could have been nervy, but we went for the kill.
And this is the thing, and Jesus, John, how many years have we sat together?
Yeah. The
we're nearly
next,
looking through our fingers. Like when you know, I didn't feel like that last night because
No.
the way we took the
Don't back,
tempo.
but you
feel
never.
hand on heart, Eamon and John. Did you feel that we would have pushed on to get another 2 goals like we did? Did you have to? Did you have that feeling last night when that happened?
Go on, John.
Well, I just felt once they got one, they were going to get a little bit gung ho. We would pick them off on the break. We would get more chances to get behind them. So I wasn't all that surprised, to be honest. So
I think once we took the sting out of the game, as John says, and the heat map of the pitch brought them onto us a little bit more, but they still had their gaps. I always felt we were going to score another goal.
Yeah.
You know, they gave it to us like with a cherry on top, with the stupid challenge with a penalty because Odegaard had lost control of the ball, but then he came out.
Yeah.
But look, it's a great result. It was Saliba's 100th game for the Arsenal last night. How quick has that flown in?
It's incredible. Right? That's from the 3 good years that we've had has made it flown in. You know, now quickly he's probably how quickly he settled into the partnership with Gabriella has to be said. You know,
he's 100 games for the Arsenal now, Saliba.
It's incredible, isn't it? Just, how impressed, as I said to John earlier on, Eamon, to keep Sporting Lisbon's main man Gil Kirish quiet. How impressed were you with Gabriel and Saliba? And obviously, as John says, the team as a unit kept him quiet. Really, nothing getting into him. Yeah,
I had a good look at him last night because of know again.
He's physical, isn't he?
He was the subject of another meltdown. He's quite nimble for a big, burly guy.
That's a bit of pace.
No, he can play. He can play for sure. But whether or not he could it at the very, very top levels of the Premiership, I wouldn't be putting 75 million on him, that's for sure.
No. I think that was a wake-up call for him last night, to be honest. You know, when he's facing top defenders like Saliba and Gabriel, yeah.
So, Johnny, I think it might be a wake-up call for anyone interested in buying him as well. You know?
I don't think Arteta will be rushing. I have to say, that chance John said that he hit the crossbar, I remember near the end, I think that was all thanks to Kivior getting back at him. That little nudge just put him off balance a bit, you know. But
he's done enough to make it awkward, but give Kivior a little bit of credit. I mean, he did show a bit of pace, a bit of strength, and it was a good effort.
He did some good things, you know.
Yeah.
His touch play was nice. He was quite nimble, as I said, for a big guy. But Lewandowski, he's not. You know. He's the same kind of numbers as Lewandowski, you know, in terms of goals. But Lewandowski does that season after season in some of the stronger leagues, I think, you know.
I have to say, one player that really impressed me for Arsenal again, Yuri Timber. He's just going from strength to strength, isn't he?
He's the man of the match last night. Now, I know Thomas Partey, but I'm a big Thomas Partey fan. I think everybody expected Thomas Partey to come out and his attitude not to be great this season.
Yeah,
his attitude has been outstanding.
He's been the highlight of my season because I wasn't expecting to see much of him, to be honest.
Yeah.
But with the injuries, with the suspension, he's been in there nearly every game, and he has been fantastic.
And do you know what, John? It's a struggle for Marino or Declan Rice to get into the team. That's how good he's been.
I'm sure it's a nice headache for Arteta to have because I'm sure it's one he wasn't expecting to have.
I thought as well that the strike Marino had for the 5th goal, the keeper saved and it went up onto the head of Trossard. When Marino came on as a sub, he really wanted to go impress, didn't he? You can see he wants to, you know. Yeah.
You're starting to see him getting some minutes under his belt. You're starting to see him get match fitness. You're starting to see him play. And I think the more he plays, the more impressive he's going to get. I think he fits right in. I think he's a starter. He can play the last 20 minutes on the bench. He's going to be a very useful player in the next 4 or 5 months.
Absolutely. And just one last thing I wanted to mention. Bukayo Saka now has 15 goal involvements in 17 games.
Yeah.
They're incredible numbers.
Yeah.
They're incredible numbers. He's either laid on a goal or scored a goal 15 times in 17 games. Kai Havertz has now scored 8 goals in 17 games. Right? That's 1 and 2. You know, Havertz was outstanding last night again.
Yeah.
Absolutely. Do you know what he does? Wherever the point of attack is, he gets into the parish. He gets into the neighbourhood of the attack and goes into a channel that he'll either receive the ball in and then do a give and go, or he'll go into a channel that stretches the space available.
Yeah,
he's a brilliant reader of the game, and he's got fight. He has. He's got the feet to match it,
he drags defenders into spaces they don't want to be, doesn't he? Yeah. Yeah, like as Eamon said on Monday's show, when you looked at the starting 11 against Forest and the bench, and again last night, John, that's a really strong 11 and substitutes, man. We, aside from Ben White out, you can't get any stronger than that, can you? It looks like we've got our Arsenal back, you could say, What do you think? I don't.
Well, Tommy Yasu, we could be still found ourselves a little bit short if you get an injury to Timber, for example.
Yes.
So it would help if Tommy Yasu could put his legs back on him. And
that would be huge. That would definitely be huge. I think Tommy's a fantastic defender, but he needs to get himself.
Yeah.
And I think I read last week he's gone away. He's gone away from the group. I think he might have gone back to Japan to try and get whatever the hell help he needs to get back on the pitch, because a fit Tommy Yasu is a really good player. So,
what is it legal that Tommy Yasu has, lads? Is
no idea?
He has it all. He has an unbelievable work ethic. Yeah. He's a great understanding of positional sense, and I know I laugh about it. He's got feet. He's very comfortable off either side, and good technique, good header of the ball. He can play anywhere across the back four. He's just unfortunate that his body seems to be training, but he's still only 25 years of age. Maybe if they get him right, he extended his contract. So, I think if he had been clapped out altogether, that wouldn't have happened. So hopefully these are just minor things. I know we're on a short show tonight because it's only a kind of a quick review of last night, but I was just like an anorak today with the new format. I was looking at the tables and the fixtures.
All right,
I'm telling you, Real Madrid, if Real Madrid cough up tonight, they're in trouble.
Yeah, they're in trouble.
They're in trouble. I was looking at their fixtures, John.
Yeah.
Real Madrid have already played 3 at home and 1 away. So they go to Anfield. They go to Anfield tonight.
Yeah.
And then they go to Atalanta. Then they've Red Bull Salzburg at home, and then Brest away. And Brest have been playing,
really good football. Yeah.
Man City have Juventus away, PSG away, and then Bruges.
Yeah.
And Pep.
We're not in the form there then.
Did you see the interview? Look, I'll finish on this with Pep last night after the nose on the.
He got battered in the bench.
He said, I know he was being kind of sarcastic and ironic, saying, "No, I want the self-harm," and it's probably not the wisest thing he's ever said.
He did put out apology for it.
He doesn't know how many times Arsenal fans have wanted to do that.
It strikes me as a man who's kind of gone.
I'm sure he is. I'm sure he's frustrated. But I mean, we have to go through.
To be honest, I think they know what's coming, John. Next month when these charges are read out.
Well, look, we can't. We have no effect on. We don't even know the full extent of the charges. But you have a serious injury list at the moment, and it goes to show you all the money in the world. You have 9-10 players unavailable to you. It's going to hurt.
Can I tell you something?
I know.
John is right.
It's great. It's great.
Jonathan, this is real Sky News stuff, right? The charges have nothing to do with Man City's form.
I don't know. You can see though.
No, you can't. No, Jonathan. Hang on. Where's any evidence?
Do you know what's coming down the road, Eamon? Do you know the truth hurts?
Stop doing Sky News stuff. There's absolutely no evidence.
Sorry, Miguel Delaney.
There's absolutely no evidence that the players know anything about the charges or that they're playing that way. I'll tell you what there is evidence of. That without Rodri, they're easy to play through. That De Bruyne, his body has given up.
Yeah, well, Gundogan.
That Gundogan is not the player he was, and they were 3 of their major. They're major, major players. Now, they've got a magnificent striker in Haaland, but the difficulty with him is you have to play him a certain way. A bit like we had to with Ian Wright all those years ago. You can't do Haaland in touch. You got to play him through and let him use his strength. So you've got these players like De Bruyne is clearly, his body is failing him. Gundogan, not there, right? Then the short defenders as well. I didn't realise John Stones is now hitting 30 has hit 30 with a lot of football. I still thought he was a young lad. Nathan Ake is hitting 30. You know, the squad is aging.
There, yeah.
You know,
and they've let all the good young players go, sadly, as well. You know, but they should have hung on. But
no, but the point I'm making
it's great to see the demise of Man City, and we may no longer see them again in the top tier.
The point I'm making is that there's this easy thing to say, well, the players know the charges are coming. But do you think Guardiola would have signed a new 2-year contract? Seriously now.
Money talks as well, you know, in terms of contracts, you know. Because let's be honest as well.
Jonathan, no, you need to think about what you
just a second. He doesn't care what division City are going down. He's won it all with City. So
no, you're wrong, because every club he's managed, every club he's managed has been a shoe-in to win the league or the Champions League.
But he's won all that with City. Sure, what's there to prove?
Well, okay. Well, so if you think they could just throw any amount of money to keep him there, the charges are financial fair play, Jonathan. That wouldn't make any sense.
They're probably going to be relegated to the third tier, what's coming out today. So, to be honest, hopefully Arteta goes and Guardiola comes in and we'll be winning trophies in no time.
Okay, well, look, now that
we can say good night. Yeah.
Did I dog you by this basis? If I argue by this basis, I will win the game. Look, we're grand with what we're doing. We had a good result last night. I was just saying that.
No, seriously, though, on a serious note, we're just lying in 7th with 10 points, and on December 11th, we play Monaco at home and Zagreb on the 22nd, and the 29th be Girona. Do you think we're in a very strong position to finish in the top 8?
2 wins.
Yeah.
You'd be confident that's,
I always said, do you remember me saying this, John?
Yeah. I remember you saying this, if you concentrate.
You remember me saying about the Premier League, and when we were looking for top 4, that if you got 2 points per game, you're in the top 4.
Yeah.
Right. And every team that's got 76 points plus has always finished in the top 4. So if you do the maths, if you get 2 points per game in this league, you're going to be in the top 8.
Yeah, we're
in 2 wins, I think. 2 wins, you know.
2 wins, and we're well capable of doing that.
Yeah, you'd be looking very strong in Monaco at home, you know.
Well, look,
Monaco are doing pretty decent in the French league as well, aren't they?
It's taking to being a pushover, Johnny. You still have to turn up and do business. Yeah. You know, if Arsenal didn't turn up, and you'd expect them to win, but we have to turn up. You can't just. That's not a game for the under 14. Let's be honest.
Yeah, it's a proper. Yeah, look, they're the games you want to be in. Games you needing to win.
You still have to treat the opposition with the respect they deserve, Tony. Okay.
And the same it says over 8 games, every game is important in it because everyone wants to pick up points. It's great. It's unorganized chaos, but it's brilliant.
Every time you put look, when we finish this call now, we're going to be all watching football. But it's like putting your hand into a lucky bag and saying what comes out.
Yeah, it's absolutely superb. Yeah, but it's hard to believe 5 games have gone already. It's a competition that's actually flowing in, even though it's just expanded, because there's so much to watch, but it's there's a lot of top teams looking that they mightn't even make it, all these teams like Brest and Monaco up the top, and it's just crazy, but
you take a team though, even and I will finish on this, right? If you take a team like Glasgow Celtic, if they had been in a 4-team group with the spanking they got,
they'd be gone.
They'd nearly given up the ghost. But when they're looking at 8 games,
you have a chance. Yeah, they have a chance. The home form's been really good. Yeah.
Yeah, it's Girona away at the end of January. I'm looking at. That'd be a nice one. Yeah, it's nice sun holiday maybe at the end of January. So with the final 3 games, just like to confirm, December the 11th is at home against Monaco. January 22nd is Dynamo Zagreb at home. And then the end of January 29th, is against Girona. So you'd fancy your chances that it could be wrapped up by Girona. But look, you'd fancy us in any game and then against any opposition the form we're in at the moment, with a full strength squad. Everyone fears. I think everyone's fears ourselves. So as long as there's no injuries, you fancy our chances going far in this competition. But because the cliche goes, we take it game by game.
Yeah, and it's more. I know it's a cliche, but it's more of a reality where we find ourselves now that we've got to compartmentalize every game and be, as Mickey often says, the best version of ourselves in every game. And if we do that, we'll win most of them.
Yeah.
I think just briefly as well, what's good about this competition this time around, there's no home and away against the same team. So you have to go out and beat them. It's great, isn't it? It's just these one-off matches are actually a lot better than the home and away system, I think. Yeah, and it's bringing... look at John and Eamon, and you can see a bit of hair starting to come back. It's giving them belief again. Not all is lost. It's tough at the top. I'd just like to say, great show, great review show, lads, for a special midweek one. Would you like anything mentioned in regards to the Dublin Nurses Supporters Club or anything?
I'm in there Saturday evening, John, are you?
Yeah, I'll be there, yeah.
Yeah, okay. I'm actually going to the game next week as well, the midweek, so.
All right, then I'll see you up there.
Yeah, okay.
I'd just like to thank John Mealy for coming on, John. Thanks very much, pal.
Okay,
and Eamon Donnelly, just before we finish, remember to sponsor our very own Martin Stoneville for November and 8th of Men's Mental Health Month. Really good cause, and there's only 3 days to go before that ends, so any donation, no matter big or small, is much appreciated. Of course, you can catch our show on the Dublin Nurses YouTube channel and on Spotify. But until next week's review show against West Ham, have a great week, and we'll see you all then. Thanks, lads.
Hello.